Assalamu alaikum, good noon. Today's session will be held about gist of verb. Gist means summary of the verb. So, verb is a soul of the sentence. Without a verb, you never make a sentence. It is your first and foremost duty to learn about verb. Sometimes we are so confused that what verb would be the right to use in a sentence. That is the most important reason to unknown for you, that is you haven't enough knowledge about verb chapter. That is why today's session we will enjoy and learn together about verb, and also the verb would be the practical way, not only by theoretical way. So basically we have to learn firstly the definition of verb. So definition of verb, a verb is a word or a group of words, phrasal verbs that may be one more words, that's called a group of words that show what someone or something does. That is the definition of verb. We can say in a simple way the word position of action, that's called verb. So that's very simple. Mainly verb has two sections. These are not finite. That is the right pronunciation. Finite. Finite. So finite verb and non-finite verb. Listen carefully. The right pronunciation, not finite. It would be the finite. If you go to the Google dictionary like Cambridge and Oxford, you'll find this pronunciation. Another one is non-finite. So we have to study firstly finite verb, because this is the first segment of verb. Listen carefully. Finite verb, finite means limited. Finite means limited. It is so significant for you to understand the whole message of the finite verb. It is limited by tense, number, gender, voice, and so more. That is called finite. Let's run together what are the types of finite verb. Firstly, the verb comes to our mind, that is principal verb. It's not a principle to take a position in college, university. It is a position in verb chapter. Okay, so listen carefully. And another thing is that for you, that is auxiliary verb. But principal verb also has been divided into two categories. Firstly, you'll find in different opinion, in different type, in different grammar. It's up to the writer. It's up to the grammarian. Okay, so don't be worried and don't be frustrated about this. Just learn simply way. Then you can study more and more. I think you can do better something in future. Transitive verb and intransitive verb. There is first segment, especially finite verb, principal verb. Comes to the next auxiliary verb, primary and modal. Also there are some section, be verb, have verb, do verb. Come to the next section, modal. Modal also some verbs that should, shall, will, might, and so on. This is called modal. Okay, so look at some example about firstly principal verb. So transitive verb is a verb we can say anywhere. It all, it follow always object. It cannot express the meaning without object. That is called transitive verb. If we write down, especially on whiteboard, it will take time. That is just for just a slide where I want to give a message. Transitive verb is a verb, it always follow object. Without object, it can't express meaning. That is called transitive verb. Just look at T means transitive. I drink. If you ask what you drink, okay, or what do you drink, it is maybe so common. So if haven't any answer, then you have to think that is transitive verb. And here we can use I drink water. Okay, so that is all right. If you think the next one, intransitive verb, I stands for intransitive verb. That means birds fly. If you ask the question, what does fly? That is not a question that you will find words. So that's very simple. We can take a definition from this example. What is intransitive verb? Intransitive verb is a verb. It can express the meaning without object. So the difference between transitive and intransitive, transitive can't express the meaning without object, but especially intransitive, without object it can express the meaning. Have you got the point? Okay. Come to the next one, auxiliary verb. Already I have been introduced to you. That is very simple. V verb. There is some example you'll find: am, is, are, was, were, have, has, had, do, did, does. Okay, if you think about, there are two types of verb: past and present types. I mean past tense verb and present tense verb. That is very simple for you. If you think about am, is, these three for present, these two for past. Also have, has, these two present, had for past. Also did for past, and does, did for, does do for present. So be careful using about this verb. If you think about singular and plural, it's up to the plural. You will use are, were, and have, and do. So we will learn together about this chapter how to use a verb. It may be right from verb. Then we can explain with a clear conception. So come to the next one. Why do we study about this verb? This is significant message for you. I mean, why do we study about this verb? This question comes to your mind. It's so common. So we can think very clearly. That is, to make a correct sentence. Firstly, if we study about verb, we can write a sentence without any mistake, without any error. So this is the first duty, to learn about verb. Another thing is that to make a mode. Every sentence has a mode. That may be passive, that may be active. It's very simple. So it would be the passive mode, it would be the active mode. So for this reason, you have to study verb, especially finite verb. Then comes to the next one, to do an interrogative sentence. If you want to make an interrogative sentence, you have to follow tense. You have to follow verb. So that is mandatory. Also negative, that's also related to that. And last and finally reason, to make a sentence, to make a tense with a sense. You will say, sir, a sense is related to the human body, mind and like something. Why does it related to the verb chapter? No worry, it's very simple. Tense and sense both are interconnected. If you know tense, that's very well, but if you don't know the sense, you never express the meaning correct way. That is the main reason we have to study tense with a sense. So your duty to study about this chapter, finite verb, and then we'll take our next session about non-finite verb. And then your duty to take a note, also your duty to study with a deep way, and then you can do a better. So be careful using verb, especially plural and singular. Also maintain these things. Why do we study about this chapter, especially verb? So now today our class will be, and today we'll take next session in our next class. Thank you everyone.